This is my friend, a long time friend.
Yes.
Kevin Hart. I'm very happy to see your face. I'm always happy to see you, actually. I always love to see your face in the beginning, at first glance.
In the beginning?
Like I see you coming and I think, oh, fun. This will be fun.
And then it dies down.
Well,
it
then
takes a dip?
It's not a dip, but I think there's an anticipatory level of excitement
Great
when
word.
I get to see you.
Great word.
Yeah.
I like
well,
it.
you've used a couple words wrong in the short time that you've been here.
Yeah.
So I had to correct his grammar as I do. So hopefully, if you say anything wrong here,
the good news is I'm with the dictionary.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
And you're only an hour late today, which for you is early.
An hour late. You're not late when you give a heads up 2 to 2.5 hours before.
When you say, wait, that's fine that you're late. I don't care.
No, but I want to make it very clear.
You said, I'm on my way at 11 o'clock, and you were supposed to be here at 11:15. Totally
you
fine.
live in East Bubblefuck. I'm on the other side. Yeah. I'm in Calabasas.
Well, that's where the cheaper homes are, I guess.
I don't come over the hill.
Right. I don't know why you live in Calabasas.
Because I don't want a backyard the size of my hand. Yeah, how about that? Maybe that's why. Because I actually want to walk around.
Anyway, Kevin's here. Kevin, what do you have to say for yourself?
What do I have to say for myself?
In general.
In general. I have to say I'm proud of me.
You are?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you too.
If I had to say something, I would say that. I would say though, we're in a different time. I'm getting older. So now.
Do you feel like you're getting older?
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm fucking crushing it. And I'm 49.
Well, yeah, I'm getting older doesn't mean.
But I mean looks wise, like body wise, like my skin.
Get better.
Well, I've always been curious about your desire to work so much. I know you want to I'll let you speak about why you want to work as hard as you work.
I mean, look, half of it's fear, half of it's commitment, right? Like it's the idea of completion. So starting something and not finishing it doesn't sit well with me. So right now there's so much that I've started, right? Not just in entertainment, or comedy or acting, from a creative space. Once you start building businesses and once you start developing like an infrastructure full of minds and people to help this thing last forever, it gets more difficult as you go on. It's not easy building a business with businesses in it. So completion. Like I feel like I have to complete the task at hand, and what that looks like is still to be determined, right? Because it's constantly growing, it's expanding. So what once was just the idea of a production company has turned into an independent studio that's turned into a multi-layered entity with a VC attached, with fun and development and opportunities to merge and partner with. Like it's grows and grows and grows, and you look up and you got a staff of so many. It's like, well, fuck, I can't stop if I wanted to, because now I've invested all this time and people have invested time into the thing that I believe in. So now I owe them the return of energy, and it just keeps going. But I do believe by time I'm 50 to 53 that a lot of these things should have hard punctuations on them, and then I can kind of sit back and go, wow, man, it's dope that happened.
And how old are you now?
45 now. Okay,
45. So tell me about how you handle difficult situations in business. Like when something doesn't go your way, how have you learned and grown to deal with that kind of stuff?
That's the easiest thing to understand in business. The bulk of things don't go your way, right? Like at first, all ideas are bad ideas to most. You got to prove your case. And what you'll find for me is that resume without receipts is just a piece of paper. It's just words. Proof of concept is important. So without a proof of concept, I'm always selling you on an idea. What I've learned is that an idea is something that comes a dime a dozen. Everybody has one. But if my idea comes with a return, like that's a different thing. So how do I put myself in the best position to make my partners understand that there's a mutual alignment where if I win, you win. If you win, I win. How do I do that?
And that's also a track record, right? With all of the stuff you've done, people can trust your company, your brand, your, whatever you're calling yourself these days.
Okay. Well,
what are you calling yourself these days?
You just said, I think you just went through it. Like,
you're right.
A brand, a businessman.
And then I'm very curious because I know how close you are with your wife and your family. Mm-hmm. And this may sound like a boring question, but I am very curious as to how you decide how you manage to balance everything and spend enough time with your family and your wife and your kids.
It's a system. It's a routine system. So if you've been doing it long enough, you'll find that any routine is very easy to stay true to. It's no different from waking up early in the morning, going to the gym, then going to work after the gym, then making it home for dinner, eat dinner with the kids go to sleep, then you watch a movie, then you go to sleep, you wake up and repeat.
Masturbate.
Yeah, well, I don't really feel like I have to.
Well,
but
you probably are doing it anyway.
I don't think I need to.
Okay,
I think I'm fine.
That's why it's weird that you're doing it.
I get it, which is once again why I just don't feel like I don't need to, right?
You don't need to address it, fine. But
I don't need to address it. I don't need to do it.
Okay.
My wife thinks I'm hot.
Well, that's a separate conversation. Yeah, I'm having her on next week.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk to her, fine. All she's going to do is tell you, I want to jump his bones all the time. And I would too. I've walked by me and
thought,
I've seen me in the mirror.
I want to get a piece of that.
No, there's been times where I've looked at myself in like a reflection. I'm like, I fuck. Yeah. Like, I get it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you do that.
You actually don't even have to look in the mirror because if you turn on the television, you can just watch yourself in any sort of credit card commercial or airline commercial or toe spacers commercial. It really doesn't matter what you're promoting.
Toe spacer, but I get what you're saying.
Have you ever worn toe spacers?
Okay, no.
Okay, well, I just started wearing them the other day.
Well, I'm not going to wear them, and I don't need to answer a
What if
question
don't you
about
want your
those.
toes to stay apart?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I didn't know
What
that's
if you
a
get
thing.
a bunion?
Okay, then you get a bunion.
No, but you want to you want to look at a bunion?
I don't want to look at a bunion, and if I had to, I don't care. I'm at an age where you think I care about my feet?
I would hope so.
Why?
I mean,
45. It is what it is.
What do you mean at 45? You're not dead. You have a whole lifetime ahead of you.
This is what it is.
This is mid-century. You have another, hopefully, 50, 45, 50 years, and you want to go around with bunions?
I have no desire to correct my feet. You know what I equate that to? Like people that are 60 that get braces. It's too late.
I agree with you.
It's over. Like it's over.
I agree with adult braces.
Yeah,
I don't.
You waited till now. At 60 years old, you gonna fix it up. We done dealt with it through all this time. Leave it alone. That's how I feel about my feet. Now, to answer your question about my kids and my time is a system. I'm dedicated to a home schedule, and if I'm filming a movie, it changes, but it's the reverse of touring, right? Like touring, you're going on the weekends, you're home during the week. If I'm filming a movie, I'm going during the week, but I'm home on the weekends. So the kids understand that, and they grow up understanding what my job is, and when dad's home, it's great, and when he's gone, we know what he's doing, but we talk all the time. My younger kids, I think, are going to get a different version because I'm slowing down a little bit. So,
are you?
Well, yeah. I mean, I need to be home more, and I can. Like I had the luxury of working from the office at home, so I don't have to be in the office as much or have to be on the go as much. I think the bigger things have gotten, you're in a position where you can delegate and have other people kind of execute things where you once upon a time had to do it yourself. I don't have to do as much of that anymore. So my younger kids definitely get a bigger dose of me than my olders did at this age. But my older kids were so close. Like our relationship now is
they're getting the dose that they need. Mm-hmm. I would say that is the most important age. Your older kids are at the age where they need you the most. Absolutely. They need your influence the most.
Absolutely. You know what I like is that they're comfortable enough to talk to me, good or bad. Right? Like there's no secrets. I mean, there probably are. I'm well within reason. I know that there's probably things that my kids don't tell me. Mm-hmm. And like any kid, I get it, right? But there's a lot that they do come to the table with that we talk about. And, I like the fact that they are very confident that there is no bad reaction from their father. Like it's dialogue all the time. And it's never met with a negative energy or an angry tone. And that, to me, that's what I'm most proud of with them. Like that's where I can see the benefit of our relationship or the time that we're spending. Like I can see it paying off in real time.
Yeah.
Because of the people that they're becoming.
Yeah. That's nice.
Yes. That's my win.
What do you think about when you think about your own childhood and you think about what your kids have? What do you think about that?
It's crazy, man, because you don't see this happening. And the way I grew up, how I grew up, I was a happy kid. I was a happy fucking kid, man, and with less. And the reason why I was happy is because you just appreciated the things that you had or that you were able to do. Going outside was a big deal. Playing with my friends outside was a big deal. Playing basketball in the schoolyard was a big deal. Walking to the store to buy candy was a big deal. Those were the big things. Like, we didn't need the grandioso version of trips and adventures. Like, we had the steps, we had the walk from where we live to meet up at a friend's house, to go to the playground, to go back from there to a friend's house, sit outside, play a game that we created, go back to the house, step, repeat. Like, that's it. If you were lucky, you were in some extracurricular activities. I swam, played basketball. My mom did the best that she could.
Yeah, when you talk about that, that makes me nostalgic for my own childhood, actually, because there was an electricity in the air. Like, even just going out in the street after school and playing like Red Rover with the neighbors all on the street. It's like, where does that happen anymore? Are there neighborhoods in Minnesota where that happens?
I hope so.
Yeah, not in Los Angeles.
I think the kids that are fortunate enough to grow up in the neighborhoods, and by that I mean, like, where there's a nice connectivity within community. People live in close proximity, and the kids grow up knowing that friends across the street or down the street. And as they get older, that rapport gets better. Now, it's not my kid's fault, but respectfully, we don't have neighbors, right? Like, there's no walking to the house down the street. Like, we're living to hopefully get a high level of privacy and exclusivity just in home, because we don't want to be bothered, or we don't want to be approached, or it's me, it's not them. So because of that life that we now live, they don't have that. So it changes. But then the kids get old enough and they're driving. So my kids are driving at the age 16, and Dad, can we go to my friend's house? And after that, we're going to go meet and do whatever. You have a little bit more freedom, but the idea of what you're doing is different from what I was doing, right? My kids aren't hanging out after school. They're not hanging out at the school and not breaking their necks to go to pep rallies or the football games. It's different now. And, electronics and social media, it's changed all of that to where from afar, people feel close, but you don't have the same synergy.
Do you think you're addicted to social media?
No, I could give two shits about it. But at one point, it was what drove the machine. So, I'm one of the early winners in the space of social media by understanding the value of it. Like anything else, there's going to be good and bad. I think that the bad is a little more present today, but I also think that the good is watching this younger generation crack the code and figure out like a different side of economic payoff, right? Like they've cracked the code to where the value in return and energy creative on social media is making them millions of dollars. Live streaming, gaming, the vlogging, you name it. They've cracked the code and made it a business. So you're looking at a lot of people take care of themselves and their families from doing the thing that we thought was like real simple and just one note. They've created a tier to it. So I take my hat off to them, but I also understand, like, I don't do that. I don't have that machine.
You don't have to do that. Well, you don't have to do that. It's also, yeah. Okay, moving on from that subject, because who cares? What do you, I want to ask you what you think, what are you most proud of in your, like, as a person? Not of your accomplishments, but what is like a lesson that you learned that you didn't have to learn more than, once or twice, that you're proud of, like, understanding that lesson?
I think the biggest lesson I'd probably say is don't expect others to give you what you give them, right? Like, one of the biggest things that I'm now very comfortable with understanding is my heart is different, and the energy attached to making others feel good or to put others in a position to do good is a high level energy. And just because you have that, it doesn't mean that other people should. Everybody operates differently, right? And everybody shows their love or shows their value or shows their, I guess you can say, commitment differently.
Yeah.
So I took the pressure off of others when I stopped expecting you to do what I do or to work the same way that I work.
Did that happen when you met the Plastic Cup Boys?
I mean, me and my guys have definitely had our, peaks, hills, and valleys. But I think they're all not only talented, but they're all chasing different things for themselves. So you go through this period where you want the most for everybody. And if they're not doing what you think, then you don't think that they're doing enough.
Or you go through a period where you feel like you're helping so many people. And then when they exceed beyond what you've provided for them, when they have their own success beyond what you've given them, there can be friction because you're like, wait, you're going out. The whole idea is for everyone to fly by themselves. Mm-hmm. But some people in leadership positions want to hold on to everybody
Absolutely.
And say, don't exceed beyond the success that I've given you.
That's actually a really it's an interesting point because I don't suffer from that. I'm very much I want to see everybody fly. Like I want to see everybody get to the highest level of a win. Like to me, that's special. If you want to know the true definition of success is look at the success of others around the successful person. Like that's if you really want to get into it.
That's like when I put you on Chelsea lately before
playing? Yes.
Yeah. When
why you playing?
nobody
Not
would,
that it was
because nobody thought because of his height and because of his body type that he would ever be successful.
I just don't think it was intentional.
And I was like, oh, that's a cute little nugget.
Yeah.
Like, let's put him on Chelsea lately. And guess what he did as a thank you? Yeah. After 3 or 4 appearances, he decided that he wanted to only be a guest on Chelsea lately, that he didn't want to be on the panel anymore because he was becoming too famous.
Well,
that's what he said after I put him on the show, and that was his first television appearance, probably.
I think it was the right
on
move.
The Jeffersons. He played that little kid on the Jeffersons too, but that was a long time ago.
I think that was the right move, and just to kind of punctuate what I'm saying, you were trying to keep
to hold you down. Yeah. I think I said good for him for asking, and the answer is yes. Is what I said because I wanted to fly. I wanted you to fly like a little bird.
You actually were very supportive of my progression in those days, but also I think one thing that I'm really good at is I don't forget. Like you don't forget the road or the journey. So it's like those things that helped elevate you, you don't turn your back on them when things start going well. You figure out great ways for you to maintain those relationships and those platforms, right? Like how did I get to the place of like crazy availability and awareness from a fan base was because of all the things that I was able to do. So that panel was very important. When the panel turned into just being a guest, very important. That audience attached to Late Night with you was a very important audience. Like those things transfer into ticket sales. So you don't shut the door on it. You do that while doing other things. And I think I did a good job of maintaining all of that as things continue to grow. And even today, when you look back and we're able to go and do a podcast, the dope thing about these relationships is like when people go and look at how long over the course of time you've stayed true to a friendship or stayed true to a great energy and a great rapport, it's a story. It's one long story. Wow, they started here, they went here, and they've been doing this all the way. Oh my God, it's so dope that they still find a way to maintain a relationship. It's so dope that we're able to connect those dots with them. That to me is special. And you don't have many of those. Like,
well, you do. I mean, loyalty is a big thing for you. You're very loyal, and I love that about you. I feel the same way about being loyal to people and reciprocity. But like what you're saying is not hanging your hat on reciprocity. Like, don't expect from others what you give, which is also a good life lesson. And another thing that I very much respect about you is your vibration. You are operating at a high vibration. You want to bring people in. You're a lover. You've always been this way. I've never seen you be an asshole once. I mean, you are an asshole.
Well, that's
like you are an asshole. Like you're an asshole because you've asked. Yeah, I mean, I already talked about that stuff, so I don't need to expound. I'll do that.
I just don't think you need to say that.
Right. I think you're an asshole, but it's a good asshole, and it's a ridiculous asshole.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you can be a good asshole, but okay.
But loyalty is important to you.
Very,
right.
Absolutely.
So when you say what you just said, which is, like, don't expect other people to, give you the love that you're giving them necessarily, then how does loyalty play into that?
Well, I don't think it's just love. I think it's the energy, right? Like if you just said, if you're operating at this crazy vibration, this high vibration, like you just said, I can't expect everyone to meet me here.
Yeah.
I understand what's special about where I am, and I understand how passionate I am about wanting so much for so many. If you don't have the same wants for yourself, I can't get mad at you. I can't take that as like disrespect or I can't get frustrated. I have to then say, it's dope. And I understand like what you want for you is for you. I want to just do what I can to help you. And then I hope you get whatever it is that you want. It's much easier when you can process it differently and look at it with a dual POV than look at it from one perspective, which used to be, for me, I used to suffer from, well, if you don't want what I want, then you don't want the best for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy.
Right,
like, you don't want, obviously, you're not trying to be the best. And everybody's not trying to do that. Everybody's not trying to be the best. And some people want to be enough, or some people want a little bit or a little taste. And some people want to be content. There's different levels for a reason. And to my fault, a younger version of myself, it was like, man, if you're not on this page and you just don't see what I see, then I just can't have that or around because your energy is taken away from my energy. And it's not the case all the time. You should be able to separate it. You should be able to understand it. You should also be able to let people figure things out on their own time. And sometimes when they do, it's a great full circle moment. If they don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you to the point of no return. But I used to operate as if it did at one point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest lesson that I think I had. And when I got out of my way and I started letting other people flourish and be great and stop trying to control and navigate every single thing, I started to see things grow.
Mm-hmm. Okay, on that note, we're going to take a break and we're going to be right back with Kevin Hart. Okay, and we're back with Kevin Hart. Can you put your pants back on?
What do you mean?
Oh, nothing. This isn't a visual podcast, so.
Okay.
But
So
I still need you to put your pants back on.
my pants weren't on. You would have known.
I will also have you put on your headphones right now because we're going to start
Put
with
those
a
over your
caller.
pants, actually. We have callers, and you're going to give advice to real people. They call in for advice. It's called Dear Chelsea. You don't.
They call
is
in
that how
for
you
you
wear
for
headphones?
advice?
Is that how you wear?
These people are asking you for advice. Have they seen you? Like,
Is that how you wear headphones like
Yes.
this? Who are you? Beats?
Well, you don't need two
Beats by
airs
Why not?
because you only need to hear in one air.
But and it's not an air; it's an ear. It's
You're probably one of those people that wear
But
two
what-
pods.
Who does
You wear
this?
both your pods when
But
you're on the
what's the
phone.
point of having a thing?
Because
on
I
your
want to
face?
still hear you clear.
You're gonna hear me in the fucking microphone, miracle ear.
I can hear you just like this though. Yeah, see that? See, this is, you know what that's called? These crazy.
Gaslighting?
No, this is crazy. This is what the millennials are talking about.
Oh,
when they talk
are you
about
talking
us.
about me? I'm a millennial.
No,
Are you talking
no,
about me?
No, I'm saying that you're what they talk about.
Oh, millennials are talking about us?
Yeah, no,
Why?
I didn't say
they're
us.
They're talking about.
No, I'm out
you
of
think
it.
that I'm talking about me only?
Yeah, I'm out
Women
of
like
it.
me who go like this?
If you
No.
did that, they would go, she gets it.
No.
Yeah, all right. Remember I told
that's
you that.
stupid. First
Okay.
of all, it fucking hurts my earrings and it hurts my ears.
Well, then that's more reason for you to have one off.
No, it hurts my ears to have it off.
Why would it hurt your ears to have it off of your ear?
Because then my ears are way bigger than your ears. They always have been.
Are your ears
So
on
it's
your cheek?
It's catching my ear. Look at how big my ears are.
Wow. Holy shit.
Have you ever? They keep growing.
No, it's like a goddamn.
Yours are like little two
it's like
Oreos.
a bat wing.
My
Jesus.
my ears actually are like are a very embarrassing feature. They look like a labia. The bottom part is like labia. It's like flappy.
I
I'm
never
like,
knew that
I
those
know
were
they're
your
bigger than
ears.
my vagina.
It's like a whole nother
I know, it's
person on
'cause-
your
I
fucking
know.
ear. Jesus.
Well,
What
our
do we have
first-
today, Catherine?
Oh, we have some very juicy questions
Okay.
for you, Kevin. Our first question comes from Kelly, and she has a question about her best friend.
Okay.
Dear Chelsea, my best.
Try and be serious, okay?
Okay.
This could be serious or it could not be. We
Okay.
don't know yet.
Okay.
There's a mix.
I
There's
get
a
it.
mix.
This isn't rocket fucking science.
Shut up.
Answer the questions. I get it.
Dear Chelsea, my best friend and I have been friends for over 20 years now, but lately she's been getting on my nerves.
Welcome to the club.
Every time we go out to do anything, she is overtly sexual with any male around. She got divorced a couple of years ago, so this is her first time being truly single. She's joined every single dating app, and I'm glad she's getting out there. But what I'm not so cool about is her acting like a cat in heat every time we're out in public. A few months ago, we were at her daughter's 21st birthday, where she was hitting on her daughter's friends to the point of adjusting her shirt so her cleavage was fully on display. Her daughter was mortified. I did address that her daughter looked embarrassed by her behavior, and she just laughed it off, so I don't know how to approach this or if I even should. Last weekend, she hit on my married friend before even taking the time to ask if he was married. I'm heading out right now with my friends and did not invite her, but I know this is going to be a topic of conversation, and I feel the need to defend her. Am I being a prude or is this just a phase I should wait out? Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Kelly.
Hi, guys.
Hi, this is Kevin Hart. Do you recognize him? He's our special guest today.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hi,
Okay.
Kelly.
Hi, Kevin.
How are you?
Yeah.
You want me to go?
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Yeah.
I think I have a pretty good
Okay.
wrap on this.
Okay.
First of all, I think that you have to have a little bit of understanding to the fact that she's divorced. In life after divorce, if you haven't been divorced, you don't know what that's like. So companionship is something that people want, something that people long for and fiend for. It sounds to me like there's just a want and need for companionship. And that companionship right now is being filled with flirtation or fun in the environments that you're going to. So if you were looking for a real change and it was annoying you at a high level, I think that you should just change the environments that you attend with this particular friend. In other words, if you don't want to be a part of the flirtatious or salacious things or ways, I think you change it to just lunch or early dinner. And there's not the crazy party environment or the world where you can approach or be approached. And I think for you, you'll then have a better understanding of what that relationship is. And then you can separate yourself and she can go do her thing when she wants to. And you don't have to be annoyed and come off as the friend that's prudish or just not fun within the world of fun that she's looking for.
How long has she been divorced?
She's been divorced about 3 years.
Okay. So she's not newly divorced.
Not newly divorced.
She's
no.
just getting out of the newly divorced area.
Right. Getting out of it, yeah. And she's been in 2 long-term relationships since then.
And so is this
like year long?
Is this flirtation like horniness level? Like has it spiked? Is that what you're noticing?
I've definitely noticed in the past probably 3 months that it's really, really spiked. She just gets overly like touchy and feely with people that she really doesn't know. She doesn't really know their situation.
Yeah, no.
And she's making people around her uncomfortable. Some of my friends have said, I'm a little uncomfortable with her around my husband because she didn't even know that he was married to me. She was just in this big friend group and was like petting him. I was like, oh yeah, I can see that.
Well, I think Kevin's advice is great and sound, but
I think so
if the problem continues, because like it could really be like a hormonal female thing, you know what I mean? Because all of a sudden, someone going around and like kind of semi-groping people is a problem, and it will become a problem, especially since people are fucking married and they don't like that. But, if you want to have an honest conversation with her, I would, as a woman, appreciate a woman having an honest conversation with me saying like, hey, your behavior, which has happened in the past, your behavior was inappropriate, or you're, like, hey, you made someone feel uncomfortable. You don't want to shame her and say everyone's talking about you, but you you do want to be honest, as if out of a friendship, you kind of owe each other honesty to say, hey, you made that one, that guy's married and his wife was there and he was uncomfortable and she was uncomfortable, and cite one example instead of 10,
Right.
When you do want to have a conversation, if it gets to the point where you think you have to have the conversation, if you are in the business of defending her, I think you can just say, she's just going through something right now. I'm going to be her friend. And, hopefully this is just a phase.
Is that really going through something? Some people are just a little faster with life. Like,
but no, because she said this isn't typical of her behavior, right?
She said in the last 3 or 4 months. So maybe like she's in a fucking mindset of like, you know what? I haven't let go and just completely let loose. And you know what? At this time, I just want to fucking do what I want when I want. In return, granted, yes, rubbing some people the wrong way, flirting with husbands when you don't know that they're married. Okay, yes, but it's not like she's going and said, oh, this is my husband, and then she's still doing the shit. She didn't know. I'm saying if she's in a mindset of, I'm going to live and operate differently for me, I think you should just be open in the discussion. Like, hey, just tell me where you are mentally. Like, are you on like a more free life living journey right now? Because it's appearing like, you look like a fucking cat in heat right now. Like every guy you flirting with look like you want to fuck everybody. If that's the case, table it so I know where you are and I can let you operate when and where you want to do that. But you can't do that in all the settings. It's coming off crazy. But let me know, because me and you are close enough. I'm on the table. Yeah. I'm on the table of understanding.
That's actually really good advice. I wasn't expecting that from you.
You don't expect me to be a sound...
Not a sounding board, no.
Common sense? I mean,
it's not common sense. It's a little bit more nuanced than common sense. And I wouldn't expect common sense from you either.
Everybody wants to attack the person with like, hoe-like activities
No,
without
I'm not
understanding.
saying that. I'm just saying when you make someone feel uncomfortable, I want to know if I made someone feel uncomfortable. Like if I was at a party and was like hitting on a husband.
I can tell you, you've definitely made people
Yeah,
feel
well, that was
uncomfortable.
intentional.
Yeah.
This is not intentional, I don't think.
Well, and I'm sure there's like room for levity in that conversation about like, girl, you got to tone it down.
Yeah,
know?
exactly. It doesn't have to be so serious.
Yeah,
you
Right.
know?
Yeah. I definitely want to come at it from a place of love and understanding because I know everything she's been through. I'm her human diary. She's mine.
Yeah.
I get that. But I really love that approach.
Yeah.
A
So
two-pronged approach where you talk, but also maybe she's a brunch friend for a
Yes.
while.
what is a two-pronged approach called? What is that? What remember we used to talk
I
about?
think it's called a two-pronged approach. I think that's what you would call it. I think a two-pronged approach is actually called.
I was thinking of the shocker. That's what. Remember the shocker?
I think that's
Sorry, this
that
is
three
unrelated.
prongs? I
Actually,
don't know.
it might be directly related to her. Maybe that's exactly
It
what
might
she's
be.
looking for is the shocker.
Give her the shocker
He's
and
gonna-
send her on her way.
Anyway, I think that those all sound like good options. Do you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you for
Thanks so
calling
much,
in.
Kelly.
Thank you.
Bye.
That was good, Kevin.
Yeah.
That was a
For
good
you.
answer.
Yeah.
What do
Yeah.
you mean for me?
I was
understand.
impressed by that.
Why can't you just
give you your
the
credit?
compliment? Yeah, and then stay
we'll
there.
See. We'll see.
Because you do it, and then there's this weird change that happens right after. It's like the car just goes to the left. It's like we're on a great road. And
You
want
to make card jokes
No,
right now? I
no,
don't think so.
Okay.
So
All right. I'm sorry.
Well, our next question comes from Jennifer, and this one is just an email, so she won't be joining us. But
Okay.
the subject line is Hot Tub Fury.
Ooh.
Dear Chelsea.
don't you have a show about hot tubs
No, it's a cold tub.
cold tub? Cold
Cold
plunge.
tub. Oh, you do the
Yeah, he
cold
does
plunges
cold
and all that
plunges.
stuff.
He does a bit
Yeah.
like that, yeah, too.
Yeah.
One day she'll support me. Go ahead.
I believe I have supported you on several occasions.
sure.
I think I worked out with your fucking trainer too.
You did. You had
on a
good
show.
time.
What was that show? Was that the cold
What
plunge
to
show?
fit? That was what to fit. What to fit.
Jennifer says, Dear Chelsea, I have an absolutely effed up situation I am dealing with. I've been married to my husband for 14 years, together for 20. We own a business and a home together. On to the hot tub fury. There's a woman who circles our friend group. Let's call her Abby. On New Year's Eve 2020, she got naked in my hot tub at a party, and I told her flat out that I was uncomfortable with her being naked in the
Sounds
hot
like
tub
this
with my
last
husband.
caller's
because she
friend,
does something
right?
similar.
The girl.
This girl gets around.
I told my husband the same thing. I have zero problems with him having single female friends, and he has a lot that he sees for drinks or shows that I don't wish to attend or don't care about. In 2022, when I went on a cruise, I later learned that Abby had been at my home when I was not there. Then, this past New Year's Eve, she got naked in the hot tub again in front of me. I confronted her and asked her to leave. I was away this past Friday night, and around 11 p.m., I got a text from a neighbor telling me the dogs were barking. I checked the cameras. I see him standing naked behind our bar with 2 cocktails in front of him. So I switch views and see Abby naked in our hot tub. I didn't say anything to him. I couldn't decide my next move, so I waited. When I got home, I realized that I wasn't eating or sleeping, so I decided to confront him. I have since found out that Abby is at my house whenever I go out of town. I have also gone through all the camera footage and found that nothing beyond the naked hot tubbing and some bizarre sitting in the bar naked has happened. They never touched each other, not even a hug when she was leaving. It's so bizarre to me. I'm uncertain if this is cheating or severe boundary stepping. I don't feel like I can leave and start a new life and career at 46. Help, Jennifer.
Well, she really needs to be a caller,
I
first of all,
know. Why-
because there's so
get her
many
to call in.
questions. Do they have cameras? They don't have the husband knows about the cameras.
Right.
So of course he's not going to be doing anything on camera. So perhaps they're not doing anything in front of her and then they go inside and do something. I mean, that's one theory.
Right.
Like he's not an idiot. It's his house. So why would he be fucking somebody on camera? That seems really stupid.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you have to say about this?
I mean, this is just stupid. I mean, like literally, this is one of the ones where what are you asking? What help is she looking for? You've just okay. First things first. If you're okay with your husband having female friends, and you have been for the duration of your marriage and your relationship, and you choose to not be around those environments, so that means that you support whatever the world of fun is, and his level of comfort has progressed and grown over the years. And if the female friends come over your house when you're not there and you're aware or not aware to what you just said, you said boundaries or line stepping. Like, well, it appears that you've already set some type of boundary that this is okay. I don't know what husband in his right mind is having female company over as if a wife can't find out when there's cameras and camera footage and you checking the cameras and then seeing her at your house numerous amount of times, and then her getting naked in front of you when you're there. Obviously, like she doesn't feel like she's doing anything wrong. Like, so somewhere along the line, somebody's not being very clear with what's happening.
But also, you did say she asked this woman to leave. And because she was naked, your husband understands that's also setting a boundary, saying you don't want to be around that. And then she's there all the time when you're gone. That's fishy.
But she got naked again.
Like of course.
The first time she got naked, he was there. But then at that, she said at the New Year's party.
I don't trust but I also don't trust the husband.
I think the husband is fine.
You think so?
He's not doing, the husband ain't doing nothing wrong. He's like, look at the cameras. Go look at the cameras. I ain't touched this woman. I ain't do a goddamn thing with this woman. Yeah, we was naked. So what? We sitting at the bar having a drink. The hot tub got hot. We got out. We sat at the bar. You see it right there. Like he's
yeah. That's his defense. You don't think I know there's cameras? Obviously, I know you can look at this.
He's being
We're not
upfront.
doing anything wrong. I find that behavior very suspicious. I don't think two people are hanging around naked because they're nudists. I don't think that. I don't think that's a thing. I think there's probably something more to the story that you're not willing to face. And if you don't want to face it, then I would say turn off the cameras and look away.
I tell you another big thing. Like the whole idea of strangers over your house. Like I've never been a company at my house guy. Like her saying, "Oh yeah, well she's there and other people were there at the house." Like this is why you don't invite people to your home. Like weird shit happens when weird people get free and get comfortable. Somebody feeling that comfortable that they can get naked at your home where you lay your head and your husband, that's a problem within itself. And it's if it's happening a number of times, clearly somewhere along the lines, when it happened the first time, somebody was like, hey, go girl. Somebody supported it. Like you don't double back and do the naked thing again if it was met with aggression or resistance the first time.
Exactly.
Something somewhere, there's some information being left out.
Exactly. And that's, you told her not to come to your house or not to be naked in your house. You asked her to leave. And the minute you were gone, she went back and did the same thing you asked her not to do. Yeah. So she has no boundary with you because somebody else has let her know that she doesn't have to have a boundary. And that somebody is your fucking husband. Yeah. So you have a problem with your husband. I believe something more is going on between those two. You're 46 years old. That is not the end of the world. Please don't ever say, what am I going to do as a 46-year-old woman? Plenty of shit. Right. You could change the channel anytime you want in this life.
That's right.
And apparently they say if you make it through the next 10 years, we can live till we're 120. So you might have a whole life ahead of you. I don't know if I mean, I've already spoken about how I don't want to live that long. I can't afford to live that long. It'll be exhausting. What am I going to be doing stand-up when I'm 109? Like, I hope not.
I don't want to see it.
That nobody wants to see that.
I don't want to see that.
I mean, talk about vaginal dryness, So, I mean, honestly, 109 years old, my God, I will figure out a way to get a wet pussy at 109. Anyway, we got a little off track, but you know whose pussy isn't dry? The woman who's sitting in your jacuzzi naked.
That's an aggressive. That's a very aggressive.
It's an aggressive move.
Yes.
So
do we send her to couples counseling? Do
we
tell her to check out of the marriage?
You just couple counseling. Have a direct conversation with your husband. This is not a very hard problem to solve.
Yeah,
it's very easy.
All right, and if he won't stop seeing Abby when,
well, then that's a big red flag too. This is all very odd. Like, there's no counselor that you're going to go to. I mean, it's good actually to go to a counselor with him. So to have someone tell him. A third party, this is not normal behavior. You don't have naked opposite sex people at your house when your wife is out of town. That leads to one thing. I mean, where are they going when they're
drinks at the bar, right?
Yeah.
Very bold. Very bold.
All right, Jennifer. Well, keep us posted. Our next caller is Savannah, and her subject line is, "My stepmom thinks I'm doing porn."
Oh.
Dear Chelsea.
Oh, that's perfect. Kevin just launched his OnlyFans page.
Oh, amazing.
That's perfect.
That's what this is about.
He's actually on it right now.
Oh, great. Dear Chelsea, my stepmom has been in my life since I was 10 and I'm now 31. We've had a pretty good relationship for most of my life, but for a year now, we haven't spoken. I got out of rehab last year, and at first, she and my whole family were nothing but supportive and proud. When I got out of rehab, I had moved back to my apartment after treatment and was enjoying some time before re-entering the workforce, especially since I was still in treatment 3 times a week. I began to get questions about how I could afford being unemployed. Then my dad called me, who I have the closest and most loving relationship with, and asked me if I was selling my body on the internet or doing that, quote, OnlyFans thing. I was aghast. I have no judgment, nor do I condemn that line of work, but it's just simply not something I'm comfortable with, and I have a successful career. After some interrogation, I found out that my stepmom told my mom and dad that I was doing OnlyFans because I had once asked an offhand question about, oh, what do people put on their taxes if they're making bank doing that sort of work? That was last year. We haven't spoken since my dad called with her on the line to host the apology. We haven't had a genuine conversation since, and that's over a year, which is extremely unlike us. How do I get us both to move on? I feel like I need a genuine apology where my dad isn't policing the phone call, and it appears she's fine going on without speaking forever. Please help. I want our relationship back, but I need more from her. Savannah.
Hi, Savannah.
Hey, Savannah.
Hi, Kelsey.
Hi. In your defense, or in your stepmom's defense, you look like you could have your own OnlyFans
I know,
page.
you're very hot.
You're
very
yeah,
hot.
you know what I mean? So, and women like that are always think like younger girls are up to something. Like older women always think like that was my whole life story. I'm not up to half the shit you think I'm up to. I'm just honest
Right.
about what I am doing. So it sounds a lot worse because everybody else is lying. But anyway, so you haven't, so she's just like kind of holding a grudge against you since that happened, do you feel like, or it's just not the same since she confronted you?
I think she's afraid to talk to me again after she knows that she spread a rumor about me that was really damaging, especially in a really vulnerable time. I was just getting out of rehab and figuring out, what do people think of me now? I'm going it back into the workforce. How do I explain this year gap I took? So I was really dealing with insecurities. So she hit me at a really low point. So when my dad called and said, you know, your stepmom's on the phone, and she kind of just said, well, we didn't know what you were doing, so I just didn't know. And I'm like, that's not a valid enough excuse to make up the rumor that you did. So we've just been going for about a year with really not reaching out to each other, seeing each other at big family events and kind of saying hi. And I know we need to have another conversation to really clear the air.
Well, this is probably a good step in your recovery, actually, to have an adult conversation that isn't acrimonious and to actually say, hey, listen, I know things haven't been the same in the last year, and I just want you to know exactly why it struck me so hard, because I was in such a vulnerable spot in my life. That was so unfair that you assumed because I asked one question. And so it really, really hurt me. But we're past that, I hope. And I would love to like work towards building back our relationship, right? I mean, that's all reasonable.
Absolutely. I think I just wish she had the gumption to, you know, I have a stepsister who she fawns over, as she should. That's her daughter. But I just wish I felt like she knows like something's wrong and she misses the relationship too, because it feels like we're just in a stalemate forever.
I know, but don't wish for what you can do. Like you could be a bigger person here. Kevin was trying to say, what were you trying to say?
Well, Chelsea, for one of the few times you're actually kind of right. And I never actually say that. Like I've really never, I don't think I've ever agreed with you. This is probably like one of the first times where I feel like you said something good. I'm going to give you a really good cut to the chase moment. And this is what high volume of people suffer from, right? I was talking about it earlier, like the expectation of what you feel you would do, you put on someone else. And if they don't meet that expectation, it bothers you, right? People are so afraid to just be direct and have forward-facing conversations. Like a year gap of like a fall in a relationship doesn't make sense for something that's honestly not that difficult. This isn't a hard problem. Is she wrong for assuming that you were doing something? Absolutely. Is it uncommon for women today to be doing the thing that she assumed or that she thought based off of whatever it was she heard? It is what it is. It's a multi-billion-dollar business where everybody's doing it. And by the way, it doesn't mean that if you're doing porn. You could be posting regular pictures. You could have
your toes. You could be wearing toe spacers. There's a lot of foot fetishes.
It could be anything.
I've thought about toes.
Okay, listen, it could be anything. And I'm just saying the first assumption and thought attached to it doesn't have to be the worst. So there is just a assumption that's taking place. You're hurt because of her assumption and you think that I'm doing something that I would never do. She's like, well, I thought because of what you said, and okay, I spun it and put it out there. It's a real easy conversation. Hey, we were close. It's real stupid for us to have this thing holding over our head. I just didn't like your timing of it. You know what I was going through? And I felt from you, if anybody, you should actually have a little more sensitivity in knowing how vulnerable I was at that time. Now, if you didn't, maybe we missed some key conversations, but I was at a low. And coming out, you hitting me with that, it kind of put me back down. And like now, as I'm becoming like back to myself of old and experiencing life and loving life, I'm realizing that I'm missing what we once had. I want to work on getting back there, but I need you to understand where I was. And also, I want to hear from you just in like addressing that and being accountable for that. Then let's move on from it. But it's a 5-minute to 10-minute conversation. These things don't have to be drawn out.
And you're being the bigger person because she's your stepmother. So technically she is the more mature, older version of a woman who should have been, making these inroads to you already. But this is a great exercise to actually just say, fuck it. I don't care about the smallness of another person. I'm going to be the big person and say, yeah, no problem. I mean, it's over. But this is where I was coming from, and I'd love to build back our relationship and get back to normal. This feels awkward.
And guess what? If the relationship doesn't make it back to the standards of old, it happens. It's life.
Yeah.
So holding on to a concept or holding on to this feeling of that may not be in your best interest for the new version of yourself that you've now become. So don't be afraid to say, okay, if we don't get back, we don't. But at least I got this off my chest so you can know how I feel. And I know that I was very adult with how I approached you. It was very much mature. This isn't a catty moment of back and forth. This is one of simple understanding. And I feel like if we have that, it's good.
Absolutely. I agree with all of that. And then at the end, you can just say, and thanks for the great idea. I actually started an OnlyFans page and I'm crushing it.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I'm thinking about it.
I thought about that. We had a trip to Chicago. We were watching my niece and nephew, and I thought about just saying I'm going to disappear for an hour. I've got an appointment with my OnlyFans, so I'll be right back. Just really the loop.
Yeah. But I think that's the bigger picture. Always just step above. When people are being low about something, just be bigger.
And congrats.
Yeah, I guess I'm just afraid that if I come with that she'll hide from it or won't address it, or I won't get the resolution.
It doesn't matter what you get. It matters how you go after it. You be the bigger person, you do it. If you don't get the results you desire, that's on her. That's not on you.
You've done your part.
Chelsea, actually, you brought this up on another episode recently, was forgiving someone before you get the apology. And you had sort of the forced apology, but I wonder if you can go in, with a sense of empathy. She might be feeling kind of embarrassed about what she did.
Yeah.
And going in being spend some time with yourself, forgive her, and then approach it.
Do you know what your dad said to her? Because I bet your dad gave her an earful about that.
So my dad had to call me one morning, early in the morning, and he was like, and my dad and I are very close. He'll always see me as his little girl. We talk 3 times a week. But it was the worst call ever. He called me early in the morning. He just said, "Are you doing porn?" Which, hearing that from his mouth, I was just like, oh. I told him no. He believes me. He is frustrated now that there's tension, of course. So the rumor's put to bed, but I know he's just wishes the tension would be over. And he believes my side. He knows that that's not what I was up to. So
yeah,
it's really just the conflict between us that's left.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on getting sober. Kevin has been struggling with his sobriety since I met him.
Yeah.
Oh, how's it going, Kevin?
Well, I have little shoes, so it's tough to kick it. Huh? Did you get that? You see that joke right there?
No, I did not get that. I'll think about that once you leave and try to piece that together.
Lucky enough, I haven't, but I do admire those that have made it out of the fire. So that's pretty dope to hear you say, I did, I was, but I am now. I think that's special. Real heroes don't always wear capes, buddy. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for calling.
Thanks, Savannah.
Bye, Savannah. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Savannah really looked like a Savannah.
I know. She really did.
So just to be clear, there is no link.
Oh, no, there is not.
Oh,
although she said on our pre-interview, her cousin does OnlyFans. So it's a thing, that's in the realm of reality for her family.
Got it. But I'm saying just...
Yeah. No, there's no link.
Got it.
There's no link.
For the listeners.
She's very hot. Very hot.
I'm not... What are you talking about? I'm just saying...
Just, right. For asking for a friend.
Anyway, moving along.
Well, let's take a quick break and we'll be back to wrap up with a very stupid question.
Oh, great. Okay. We're going to take a break. I'm going to give Kevin a quick bath and we'll be right back. And we're back. We're back with Kevin Hart.
We are, and we're back with a final kind of dumb question.
Perfect. That's a great way to end this.
I like it.
Gina says, "Dear Chelsea,
Some of our conversations today is probably some of the most serious conversations we've ever had. Even though I wouldn't consider this a serious conversation, there were moments of seriousness within the conversation.
Yeah, I think so.
For you and me, because usually it's not very serious.
No. But I think some
It's abusive.
of those questions like required a good POV.
Well, no. I mean, even our own conversation before the questions.
Yes, this was a lighter.
There's harassment coming from one of us to the other person.
You to me.
Yeah, usually that's true. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
And you take the abuse very well. You almost seem to enjoy it.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've just grown accustomed to it.
Right.
Like,
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Gina says, "Dear Chelsea, I couldn't think of a better person to help me decide if I should listen to the little devil on my shoulder that wants me to seek some mostly innocent revenge on my husband.
Okay.
We have been happily married for 1 year and living together for 3. While living together has come with the expected amounts of uncovering stupid shit we are going to argue about, there's one silly thing we haven't come to a resolution on: the water diverter in the tub/shower. He thinks it's no big deal to leave it on the shower setting, and I think it's a common courtesy to put it back to the tub setting so no one gets sprayed in the face with cold water at 6 a.m. I'm sure you can guess which of us keeps getting sprayed in the face at 6 a.m., but I'm not here to discuss our disagreement nor our flaws. Like I said, I'm here to discuss revenge. We recently installed a dog shower attachment in our home's only bathroom. Ever since we installed it, I can't help but think how if I just accidentally leave that diverter in the new dog shower position, he will get sprayed directly in the face at 5
I say
a.m.
do it. Absolutely. No question. First of all, I want to thank you for bringing a question like this to the podcast because we need more levity. And I like the stupidity of this, and absolutely retaliate against your husband. That's so funny. And after I just gave you a bath that we get a bathtub question.
That's actually it's not. But I just wanted to back up. The dog diverter is in their shower. Is what I heard.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yes. And the only one in the house.
The only one. So they
he will
make
be
sure
guaranteed to be sprayed in the face.
Got it.
So the dog takes the shower with the couple.
Got it.
Or in the same shower as the couple.
Yeah, same
I'm
shower.
just gonna,
that's a bigger question.
Family bath.
One more guess. I'm going to guess that these people are white. If I had to guess.
Probably.
Okay.
Why do you say that? Why are you being discriminatory? It feels a little racist.
As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet the farm on this one.
Why would you say that white people would have why? Because black people what?
The dog is probably showering with a hose outside. Like there's no such thing as a diverter in a black household, especially not in the one bathroom in the house. Get that goddamn dog outside and go get that out there. Put that dog in the bucket and figure it out. Yeah, that's what it is.
It is so true.
It's very true.
You don't let your dog sleep in the bed. No. Black people don't like that.
No.
All my black friends, when they ever see me, they go, "You look like one of those girls who sleeps in bed with your dogs."
Yeah.
And my other friend, Yaya, always goes, "White girls don't wash their legs." We've talked about this. White girls don't wash their legs. I go, "Why do my legs need to be washed? They're fucking covered all day."
It's very true.
It's not like my legs are going out without me.
It's very true.
And when I take a shower, all the soap from my shower comes down. Tiffany, I had this conversation with too.
So you feel like that's washing. You feel like that.
It's not like my legs are out there gardening all day without me.
So bad. You fucking wash your legs.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, what do you mean you don't think?
What is going on with your legs that they need washing?
It's your body. You wash your body, Chelsea. Your entire body. You don't pick and choose.
I have hot spots. I have hot spots that I wash. I get 1, 2, 3, 4.
No.
And I get those going, and then the 5th is the head, and then everything is fine after that.
No, it's not,
it is.
Chelsea.
That's
I want
like
you to
cleaning in between your toes. Who got in there?
What do you mean? Who got in there?
Who got in my leg? That it's dirty.
The back of your knee. Do you see how the back of your knee is right now?
Yeah, with clean clothes over it.
Okay, yes, but you're gonna conjure up sweat on the back of your knee.
No, I don't. I'm not a molester. Why would I be sweating on the backs of my knees?
Because you're sitting with your legs crossed.
Yeah, crisscross applesauce.
Okay, this is a hot spot. Behind your knees is a hot spot.
No, not for maybe for you. It's not for me. Okay.
This is just where we're culturally different.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm just telling you, it really is. And this is a thing that we just have to nip in the bud. Also, you probably don't even use like a wash rag. You're like a hand.
No, I don't use a wash rag.
Oh my God.
No, I don't. Nothing.
Oh, because your hands have the because your hands are.
But why is it?
You scrub them. Oh, because you have the loofahs on your hands.
Why?
So you get the.
Why is sleeping with the dogs? I mean, I understand that is actually dirty,
Yes.
but who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares? That's my bed. That's my bed. The dogs are outside all day, running around in the backyard, playing and stuff. Then you want them to come in, jump in the bed, sleep in the bed.
You've never pissed the bed and slept in it?
No, you wake up after you do it. And I have wet the bed in young and old age. I am definitely guilty of that. But immediately I get up and this has to be changed. This is ridiculous.
This is not a flattering story, and that's why I'll share it. I once was very, I don't remember what drugs I was on, but I was on something and we were in bed and I had to pee so many times before I could go to sleep. And we were in a hotel room in Vegas. This is when I was in my 20s. And I was so sick of getting up to pee that I just said, I'm just going to pee right here. And I'm going to move over onto the other side of the bed. And I thought I could do that. And then when I moved over to the other side of the bed, I was like, this is disgusting. I can't.
Pee there too.
Because
it spreads.
Yeah. And that was the last time I peed in the bed.
By the way, this is a good moment just to kind of point out to the listeners that this is who you're asking your questions to. Right? This is who you are asking for sound advice from. The woman that felt that she could pee on one side of the bed and roll over and that there wouldn't be pee there. And that, no, forget the smell. None of that stuff matters. Okay? I'm going to change her name from Chelsea to Hotspot Chelsea Handler. Because you only watch her hotspot.
What if I go into the shower like it's an emergency? I don't want to be lingering in there, so I have to get all the zones right away just in case, because I've treated it like a fire drill.
No, why are you in a rush?
So if I dilly-dally around with my legs and my arms,
you're adding a 3-minute timestamp to your shower.
Yeah, I don't like being in the shower for that long. So that's probably why.
This is so interesting to me because this debate is ongoing.
It is.
It's the one thing, there's so much that we discuss, but nobody wants to just nip this in the bud. And I think it all goes away. We would feel more comfortable as a culture if we would just hear some white people say, you know what? I understand the washcloth and I get it. Okay, if that's what this is about, I'll meet you halfway and I'll use a washcloth. It doesn't mean I'm going to wash my entire body, but I will. I'll start by at least admitting that the use of the washcloth is important. And then we can rest there. And I think we can work on the other stuff in steps. But the double bang of no washcloth and only hot spots, that's a lot. That's a lot to digest.
Kevin, I want to thank you for coming over today.
Okay, what the fuck, man? Okay, what?
Why are you acting like that?
He's not trying to what sleep he feels like I had.
Well, he's a dog sniffing you. Why are you being like that?
But it's the way he looks at me while he's doing it. It's very what's his deal?
Confrontational?
Yeah.
You've had a problem with all of my dogs. Every dog I've had, you're never friendly to dogs.
Because they all think I'm 50 Cent.
No, they don't think you're 50 Cent.
They think I'm 50.
Before we wrap, Kevin, what do you say to Gina? I know, Chelsea, you say spray him in the face. Should Gina spray her husband in the face?
I want Gina to fucking get a hobby, okay? I want Gina to figure out what else to do during the day instead of talking to me about the goddamn shower settings.
We must be low on callers.
Yeah, it's just like, so what do I do? What do you guys think? Do I get them back or do I feel like it's payback. Like, what are you talking about? Like, goddamn it. Do you want to switch it yourself? If you know it's there, you can clearly see it.
Automatically happens. Usually, it's supposed to automate anyway.
Yeah. And anyway is right.
Yeah.
This is the end of this episode, and the episode's title will be called Anyway, not to be confused with Anyways. Good night.
Good one. Good night, man.
I'll see you next week.
Love you, Chelsea. Thank you.
I love you, Kevin.